In this video, we're introducing a new feature in PactFlow called Test Templates. When engineers generate PactTest, the output often doesn't align with the project's coding styles, frameworks, SDK versions, assertion libraries, and other idioms of the project. This mismatch leads to additional refactoring and reduces the efficiency gains of automated test generation. Introducing Test Templates. Test templates let you define how tests should be generated by providing templates as code. This ensures that tests conform to your preferred structure and practices from the start. You can also provide additional instructions to customize the output further, such as adding specific headers or ensuring error cases like 400, 401, and 404 are tested. Here's how it works. Here's a test generated by PactFlow AI without using test templates. While the test is technically correct, it has a few issues. First up, it uses the chai assertion library. Now, while this may work, it's different and inconsistent from the rest of our project, and we would prefer to use jest and the jest matches, as that's what the rest of our tests use. Secondly, it's using the PactV3 interface. This is a relatively stable version of the JavaScript interface. However, we would prefer to use the PactV4 one. And finally, the test structure doesn't quite follow the style we would like, where we have the provider API described at the top, the endpoint we're testing at the second level, and each test describing the endpoint status code that we're looking for. Now let's look at a test using test templates. We can call the exact same command from before to generate the pack test, but we can also now pass through two additional properties. The first parameter is the template parameter, which accepts a local path to a file that is an example template you can use and that we can use to copy that from to generate new tests from. Secondly, we can pass through an instructions flag, which is either an inline string or the path to a file containing a set of additional prompts to customize the output. Let's kick off that test and we'll go and look at those templates. Here is our example template. The first thing to notice is we've commented it heavily to help the LLM understand our intent. Secondly, you can see there's a 3-level hierarchy here. At the top level, the name of the API. At the second level, the endpoint. And at the test level, the scenario we're testing, including the status code. Secondly, you can see we've specified to use the PactV4 interface. And then lastly, we can see we've given an example of how the test should look, and specifically using the jest matching library. If we go and look at our test prompts, we've got some additional prompting in here that will guide the test generation how we'd like it. The first thing to note is we've asked it to generate non-happy path tests as well, specifically calling out the errors of 400, 401, and 404. We've also put in a stanza here explicitly asking the generation to only use properties that are in the client code and ones that aren't in the OAS only. This is a good practice in general. And finally, you can see we've put in some additional prompts around the use of jest, language patterns such as async and await, and just reiterating the PactV4 interface. This is a good example of where you would use any usual prompting patterns and styles from other LLMs. Let's see if the test has been generated now, and it has. So out of the gate, we can see straight away that it's using the PactV4 interface, which is fantastic. It's created the hierarchy that we like, and you can see it's put in product API instead of the thing API in our template. We can see it's using the jest matches, which is also fantastic. And it looks like it's created the error scenarios that we wanted as well, which is great. Let's run the test. Fantastic. So as you can see, by using test templates, you can improve the chances of one-shot generation, a working test on the first go. You can generate more consistent tests, cover more use cases, align the test with your project standards, save time, and reduce the need for manual edits. This feature really helps teams scale pack testing while maintaining code quality and consistency.